So basically, FEMA deals with the cross-border investment, foreign exchange transaction between resident and non-resident. FEMA extends to whole of India. It applies to all branches, offices, agencies outside India, which are owned or controlled by person resident in India. In this respect, FEMA can also be said to acquire extraterritorial jurisdiction, means jurisdictions out of India is also controlled by FEMA indirectly. So all transactions involving foreign exchange are classified either as capital or current account transactions. So there can be RBI, Government of India, or FEMA notification, or press notes, or guidance from time to time. But if there is any conflict between all of these, press note, guidance, RBI, Government of India circular, notifications, so only the FEMA notification will prevail ultimately in case of conflict. So types of asset I was already telling you. What FEMA tries to govern in case of person resident in India, currency, security, properties outside India. In case of persons resident outside India, any currency, security or property in India. Now, what is capital account transaction? Section 2E of the FEMA. Capital account transaction means transaction which alters foreign assets and foreign liabilities, including contingent of an Indian resident, or alters Indian assets and Indian liabilities of non-residents, or it is a specified transaction as mentioned under section 6. Fine.
ये alters का मतलब जरा समझा दीजिए क्या है?
Alter means you add to your asset or you add to your liability. Means you are an Indian resident. You are having 1 crore of a asset situated in UK. And in the subsequent year, that asset goes from 1 crore to 2 crore of rupees. So your asset position or your liabilities position, means you've taken a loan outside India, has increased, altered. Same way, it is by non-resident Indians in India. He increases his hold or decreases his asset in India or liability in India. So those are known as capital out account.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So basically, this definition is to cover cross-border investments and cross-border loans or transfer of wealth across the borders. So what is capital account transaction? Section 6 says RBI may in consultation with central government specify any class or classes of capital account of transaction which are permissible. The limit up to which foreign exchange shall be admissible for such transaction is capital account transaction through liberalized liberalized to a great extent, continue to be regulated by RBI in respect of transaction, including debt instruments and Government of India in respect of other transactions, unless permitted by way of notification and rules or specific approvals. Transactions on capital account cannot be undertaken. But there are two very important purposes for which no restriction can be imposed by RBI. That is, drawing of foreign exchange for the payment of any loans which you have taken by permission, replenishing depreciation of direct investment in the ordinary course of business. Means आप ordinary course of business में आपने एक डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रखी थी जो डिमिनिश हो गई और बिजनेस को रन करने के लिए आपको उसे रिप्लेनिश करना है. So for that, RBI can't deny you the permission. So what are the permissible capital account transactions? The permissible para 3 of the regulation says transactions by persons resident in India are given in Schedule 1, which is permissible. Transactions by persons resident outside India are given in Schedule 2. These are scheduled to this particular regulation. But the main important thing is prohibited. So we should learn the prohibited transactions. Which are the prohibited transactions? That is defined in para 4 of the regulations. So there is a one major change which happened on by 22nd April 2020. So Government of India came with this notification under FEMA rules, Rule 6, which is provided that an entity of a country which shares land border with India or the beneficial owner of an investment into India who is situated in or a citizen of any such country shall invest only with the government approval. So basically this provision, if you read through, it has been worded to avoid the Pakistani nationals. But however, this was basically introduced due to takeover of certain medical paramedical companies by Chinese residents. So China is objecting to this notification by tooth and nail. So what are the capital account transactions which are prohibited? Those are for persons resident outside India, investment in India in any form, in any company, firm, proprietary concern, or any other entity which is or proposed to engage in lottery, whether it is government, private, or online, gambling, betting, including casinos, chit funds, Nidhi company, trading in transferable development rights, real estate business or construction of farmhouses, manufacturing of cigars, cigarettes, tobacco products, activities or sectors not open to private sector investment like atomic energy. So foreign technology collaboration in any form, including licensing for franchisee, trademark, brand name, management contract is also prohibited for lottery business and gambling and betting activities. Similarly, for persons resident in India, investment outside in the business of banking and real estate is a prohibited transaction under capital account transaction. So rest of the transaction which come under the capital account transaction other than these are allowable, which are given in schedule 1 and schedule 2 as I was discussing. So FDI is also permitted in LLPs. So entry route is automatic route in LLP operating in sectors activities where 100% FDI is allowed through automatic route and there are no FDI linked performance conditions. Capital contribution, any LLP can receive foreign capital contribution only by cash consideration received by inward remittance through normal banking channels or by debit to NRE FCNR account of the person concerned, such account being maintained with an authorized dealer or bank. So it can't be in kind by transfer of any plant and machinery, know-how, or royalty. It is not possible in case of investment in LLP. Investment in LLP by FPI, foreign venture capital investors, is not permitted. So if you are going in for Stand Up India and Make in India, anything like that, it is better to go in for company setup. So LLPs are not permitted to avail ECBs also. FDI in LLP is subject to compliance of LLP Act. So this is a chart. I'll just brief you. These are the investment facilities in brief. So in case of public private limited companies, in what kind of instruments you can subscribe are non-resident, non-resident Indian, non-resident incorporate entities or foreign institutional investor can subscribe share, CCDs, CCPs, PS. In case of public limited companies, all these plus NCDs also. In case of trading companies, shares, CCDs, CCPs only by non-residents. In case of public limited companies, by NRIs only. In case of MSME units, only non-resident are allowed, not other than that. Shares, CCPs, and CCBs. In case of EOU or units under free trade zone or EPZs, only non-residents are allowed for shares, compulsory convertible debentures, and CCBs. So this I have already shared with you. You can go through this because time is too short. I think so. I have to close this lecture by what time?
Sir, 3:30, sir.
3:30. Okay, I have 1 hour.
हाँ जी sir.
Okay. Now, account transactions by residents in India. So, transaction which alters the asset and liability outside India of a person resident in India by transfer or issue of any foreign security, by transfer of immovable property outside India, borrowing, lending in foreign currency, giving a guarantee or surety in respect of any debt, obligation, or other liabilities incurred owned to a person resident outside India. Capital account transactions by persons resident outside India. So, which alters asset liability in India of the person resident outside India is establishment in India of a branch office, office or other place of business, transfer or issue of security, acquisition and transfer of immovable property in India, investment in firm and proprietary concern in India, and borrowing and lending in rupees. So, transfer and issue of foreign security by a person resident in India. So, transfer or issue of any foreign security. Here, the FEMA transfer issue of foreign security regulation 2004 will be applied. These regulations deal with overseas investment in joint venture and wholly owned subsidiary companies by way of contribution to memorandum of association of the foreign entity or by purchase of existing shares and portfolio investment by persons resident in India. The transfer and issue of security by person resident outside India, Regulation 2017. These regulations deal with the foreign investment. So what is foreign investment? Foreign investment means any investment made by a person resident outside India on a repatriable basis in capital instruments of a Indian company or to the capital of an LLP. A person resident outside India may hold foreign investment in capital instruments of Indian company either as foreign direct investment or as foreign portfolio investment. So this chart you just go through, presentation is with you. Now FDI. The industrial policy governs FDI in India, both FEMA and industrial policy, including consolidated FDI policy. I think so. After 2016, there is no further FDI policy guideline. There was one consolidated FDI policy guideline. Only here and there some press notes were issued. So should be read together. FEMA and industrial policy and consolidated FDI policy to have the full picture. Sectorial limits of FDI and investments by NRIs are almost at par except the sector of housing and real estate development and domestic airlines. Various avenues and policy of foreign investments are covered in brief. For FDI purposes, NRI means an individual resident outside India who is citizen of India. Now, person resident outside India, what are the eligible instruments? Equity, CCDs, CDs, partly paid equity shares, warrants issued by Indian companies, subject to Companies Act and SEBI guidelines. Here the lock-in period is 1 year as per prescribed FDI guidelines, whichever is higher. And mode of investment is issuance of fresh shares or transfer of existing shares. Now, what is capital instrument? So all these instruments which I already discussed. Equity share issued in accordance with the provisions of Company Act shall include equity share that have been partly paid. Debentures means fully or compulsorily and mandatorily convertible debentures. Preference share means fully, compulsorily and mandatorily convertible preference shares. Share warrants, those issued by Indian company in accordance with the regulations issued by SEBI. Capital instrument can contain an optionality clause subject to minimum lock-in period of 1 year. Partly paid shares that have been issued to a person resident outside India shall be fully called up within 12 months of such issue. 25% of total consideration shall be received upfront, including share premium. In case of share warrants, at least 25% of the consideration shall be received upfront and the balance within 18 months of issuance of share warrants. Capital instrument shall include non-convertible, optionally convertible, partially convertible preference shares issued as up to 30th April 2007 and optionally convertible, partly convertible debentures issued up to 7 June 2007 till their original maturity. After this date, all these capital instruments of preference and debentures should be compulsorily redeemable and convertible. So FDI means investment through instrument by a person resident in the capital outside India in an unlisted Indian company or in 10% or more of the post-issue paid up equity capital on a fully diluted basis of the listed Indian company. So fully diluted basis means the total number of shares that would be outstanding if all possible sources of conversion are exercised. जितने अभी ड्यू टू टाइम कन्वर्ट नहीं हुए हैं, सीसीडीज कन्वर्ट होने रहते हैं, प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स जो कन्वर्ट होने रहते हैं, तो उनका फुल डिल्यूशन बेस बनाया जाएगा और उसका 10% कैलकुलेट किया जाएगा. In case an existing investment by a person resident outside India in capital investment instruments of a listed Indian company falls below 10%, the investment shall continue to be treated as foreign direct investment. Foreign portfolio investment. Foreign portfolio investment means made by a person resident outside India through capital instruments where such investment is less than 10% of the post-issue capital, share capital on fully diluted basis of the listed Indian company, or less than 10% of the paid up capital or each series of capital instruments of a listed Indian company. Now, issue price of capital instruments in case of listed company. So in case of listed company, going through a delisting process as per SEBI delisting equity share regulation 2009, unless otherwise specified in these regulations, the relevant schedules, the price of capital instrument issued to a person resident outside India shall not be less than the price worked out in accordance with the relevant SEBI guidelines. So what are the now pricing guidelines under SEBI regulation? Now pricing, I know it is very boring subject. So you people must be getting bored. And it is a post-lunch session. So I'm continuing with that boring session only. So governed by SEBI issue of capital and disclosure requirement regulations. So pricing guidelines are under issue of capital and disclosure requirements.
Jain sir, your voice is breaking.
हाँ जी. Hello.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
My voice is
हाँ जी,
breaking.
अब क्लियर है सर. हाँ जी.
क्लियर है. शायद मैं माइक से शायद थोड़ा दूर हो गया था इन बिटवीन. अब ठीक है.
हाँ जी सर, हाँ जी, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
ठीक है जी. So unless otherwise provided, these regulations shall apply to following: public issue, right issue, where aggregate value of specified security offered is 50 lakh rupees or more in case of right issue, any preferential issue, issue of bonus share by a listed issuer, qualified institutional placement by a listed issuer, or an issue of Indian depository receipts. So pricing in case of public issue. An issuer may determine the price of specified security in consultation with the lead merchant banker or through book building process. Issuer may determine coupon rate and conversion price of the convertible debt instrument in consultation with the lead merchant banker or through book building process. Issuer shall undertake the book building process in a manner specified in Schedule 11 of ICDRs. What is that? Book building. Book building means a process undertaken to elicit demand and to assess the price determination of the quantum of value specified securities or Indian depository receipts as the case may be. What are those? Book building could only be for 100% of the net offer to the public. Draft red herring prospectus cannot mention the issue price and the number of securities to be offered. Companies can mention the floor price, that is minimum price below which bids are not accepted, or a price band. However, in case of price band, the cap, that is ceiling price, cannot be more than 20% of the floor price. In case of follow-on public issue by a listed company, the floor price or price band need not to be mentioned in the prospectus at all. The bids can remain open for 3 and more than 10 working days, including the days for which the issue is kept open in case of revision in price band. Pricing of right issue. The issue price shall be determined in consultation with the designated stock exchange. No issuer shall make a right issue or equity share unless it has made reservation of equity share of the same class in favor of holders of outstanding compulsory convertible debt instruments, if any, in proportion to the convertible part thereof. Equity shares so reserved for the holders of fully or partially compulsory CCDs shall be issued at the time of conversion of such convertible debt. Means उतना reserve करके side पे रख देना है, on the date of conversion of that instrument वो उनको allot कर देना है. And किस rate पे? And the same terms at which the equity shares offered in the right issues were issued. So it means the issue of capital under section 81(1) of the Companies Act through letter of offer. Merchant banker is to be appointed if issue size is exceeding rupees 50 lakhs. Pricing is free. Minimum promoter contribution is not required. Right issue of debt instrument requires a credit rating. Now, pricing in case of preferential issue, in case of frequently traded shares. ये जो preferential issue है इसमें कई सारी options आएंगी. Now I am discussing first the frequently traded shares. What is frequently traded? Turnover on any stock exchange during the 12 calendar months preceding relevant date is at least 10% of the total number of shares of such class or shares of the issuer. Means उस company के shares पिछले 12 महीने में at least 10% ऑफ द टोटल शेयर्स की ट्रेडिंग हुई होनी चाहिए. अगर वो ट्रेडिंग 10% या उससे ऊपर हुई भी है, then that share will be deemed as frequently traded share. So if equity share of issuer have been listed on a recognized stock exchange for a period of 26 weeks or more, as on relevant date, the issuer shall issue be allotted at a price not less than higher of following. What is that? Average of weekly high and low of the volume weighted average price of the related equity shares quoted on recognized stock exchange during 26 weeks preceding relevant date. Means पिछले 26 महीने की लो एंड हाई की वेटेड एवरेज प्राइस निकाली जाएगी. दैट प्राइस, एवरेज प्राइस अचीव विल बी द इशू प्राइस. उससे नीचे नहीं अलॉट कर सकते, ऊपर कर सकते हो. द एवरेज ऑफ वीकली हाई लो ऑफ वॉल्यूम वेटेड एवरेज प्राइस ऑन रिकॉग्नाइज्ड स्टॉक एक्सचेंज ड्यूरिंग 2 वीक्स प्रोसीडिंग द रेलेवेंट, या पिछले 2 वीक्स की हाई एंड लो का एवरेज, इन दोनों में से जो हायर है वो चूज करनी पड़ेगी. Preferential frequently traded shares. If equity shares are listed for less than 26 months, so the price shall not be less than the higher of the following. क्या? Price at which equity shares were issued by the issuer in the initial IPO. Average of the weekly high and low जितनी देर के लिए वो लिस्टेड रहा, और पिछले 2 वीक का एवरेज हाई एंड लो का वेटेड. इन तीनों में से जो हायर प्राइस आएगी वो प्राइस पे इशू कर सकते हो आप. Now in case of infrequently traded shares means जो उस डेफिनेशन में फॉल नहीं करते. The price determined by the issuer shall take into account valuation parameters including book value, comparable trading multiples, and such other parameters as customary for valuation of shares of such companies, provided issuer shall submit a certificate to the stock exchange where equity shares of the issuer are listed, stating that the issuer is in compliance with this regulation obtained from independent merchant banker or an independent chartered accountant in practice having minimum experience of 10 years. जी सर, एनी क्वेश्चन?
अरे कंपैरेबल ट्रेडिंग मल्टीपल्स क्या है?
ये
इंक्लूडिंग बुक
प्राइस जो, हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
ट्रेडिंग
जो
मल्टीपल्स.
प्राइस डिटर्मिनेशन होती है उसका जो वैल्यूएशन पैरामीटर है, एक तो बुक वैल्यू होगा,
ठीक है.
दूसरा होगा कंपेरेबल ट्रेडिंग मल्टीपल्स. मींस हम वैल्यूएशन में कंपेरेबल ट्रेडिंग मल्टीपल्स वैल्यूएशन मेथड अप्लाई करते हैं ना सर,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
जहां पे हम कंपेरेबल कंपनीज चूज करते हैं,
ठीक है.
उनके प्राइस की एडजस्टमेंट करते हैं अपनी कंपनी के साथ, फिर उसका एक एवरेज प्राइस वर्कआउट करते हैं. क्योंकि दिस इज ए इनफ्रीक्वेंटली ट्रेडेड शेयर, तो इसका अपना रिकॉर्ड रिलायबल नहीं है टू बी टेकन एज द इश्यू प्राइस. तो इस केस में बुक वैल्यू एंड कंपेरेबल ट्रेडिंग मल्टीपल्स, जो उसकी पीयर कंपनीज है जिन जो ट्रेडिंग में है, उनका क्या रेट आ रहा है, उन पैरामीटर्स के ऊपर बेस्ड इसकी वैल्यूएशन की जाती है. और वो वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट डेफिनेटली आर इश्यूड बाय मर्चेंट बैंकर और चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. वो डेफिनेटली अब वो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट इज गेटिंग रिप्लेस्ड बाय IBA registered valuers ultimately. Now, pricing in preferential issue, certain exceptions are there. The provision of this chapter shall not apply where the preferential issue of equity share is made pursuant to conversion of loan or option attached to convertible debt instrument in terms of subsection 3 or 4 of 81 of Company 56 or subsection 3 or 4 of 62 of 2013. So pursuant to a scheme approved by High Court under section 391 or 394 or 232 234, that is compromise and arrangements, merger, demerger, all those things. Whatsoever scheme is approved by the High Court, now it is by the NCLT. Further exceptions are provisions of ICDR shall not apply where preferential issue of equity share is made to the consortium of banks, financial institutions, pursuant to the conversion of their debt as part of strategic debt restructuring scheme. जहां पे SDR में अलॉटमेंट की जा रही है, CDR में, SDR में, वहां पे ये एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगी. As a part of the scheme in accordance with the guidelines specified by RBI will apply. Hello. I'm in a meeting, please. So what are those RBI conditions? Conversion price shall be determined in accordance with the guidelines specified by RBI for strategic debt restructuring scheme, which shall not be less than the face value of the equity shares. Conversion price shall be certified by 2 independent qualified valuers. And for this purpose, valuer shall have the same meaning as assigned to under clause R subsection 1 of regulation 2 of SEBI, issuance of sweat equity regulations 2002. Issue price of capital instruments in case of unlisted company. So in case of unlisted company, unless otherwise specified in these regulations, the relevant schedules, the price of capital instrument of an Indian company issued by such company to a person resident outside India shall not be less than the valuation of capital instrument done as per the internationally accepted pricing methodology for valuation on arm length basis. So आज से 4-5 साल पहले तक the FEMA guidelines or RBI guidelines used to say the instruments as valued as per DCF method. So that was amended by insertion or substitution of DCF with internationally accepted pricing methodology. So this is to be certified by a chartered accountant or a SEBI registered merchant banker or a practicing cost accountant. Now, what are the internationally accepted pricing methodologies for valuation? Asset-based approach, that is net asset value method. Then price to book value, PB multiple methods are there. Earning-based approach, that is price earning, capitalization value method is there. Enterprise value, EBITDA multiple, CCM method, or discounted cash flow method, or market-based approach, that is market price method, or other methods are there, that is control, premium, minority discount, or judicial pronouncements are there. So these are various methods and considerations which are applied for accepting or issuing pricing methodology. So these all methods, I think so, will be discussed by other persons who will be dealing with their respective subjects in the coming days. Now, issue of convertible capital instruments. So in case of convertible capital instruments, the price conversion formula of the instrument should be determined upfront at the time of issue of instrument. तो जो भी convertible capital instrument है, वो उसका क्या conversion rate होगा, क्या methodology होगी, कैसे कैसे वो कन्वर्ट होगा वो एट द टाइम ऑफ इशू ही डिसाइड हो जाएगा, नॉट एट द टाइम ऑफ कन्वर्शन. So at the time of conversion should not in any case be lower than the fair value worked out at the time of issuance of such instrument. So acquisition through rights issue or bonus issue. So a person resident outside India and having investment in Indian company may make investment in capital instruments other than share warrants issued by such company as a right issue or bonus issue, provided that offer made by the Indian company is in accordance with Companies Act 2013. Issue doesn't result in breach of sectorial caps. Investment made through right issue or bonus share shall be subject to condition as applicable at the time of such issue. In case of listed Indian company, the right issue to person resident outside India shall be at a price determined by the company. In case of unlisted company, right issue to a person resident outside India shall not be at a price less than the offer price to the persons resident in India. जो resident in India को price दे रहे हैं उससे नीचे नहीं हो सकता, उसके ऊपर हो सकता है. Now transfer of capital instrument of an Indian listed company by a resident to a person resident outside India. So it should not be less than what the price worked out in accordance with relevant SEBI guidelines in case of listed Indian company. The price at which preferential allotment of shares can be made under SEBI guidelines as applicable in case of listed company or in case of company going through a delisting process under SEBI delisting of equity share regulation 2009. Transfer of capital instrument of Indian unlisted company by a resident to person resident outside India. It should not be less than what valuation of capital instrument done by internationally accepted pricing methodology for valuation at arm length basis by a CA, merchant banker or a cost accountant. Valuation of capital instrument for transfer by a person resident outside India to resident in case of a listed company. NRI से resident को. So the price shall not exceed. Here it is opposite. The price worked out in accordance with the relevant securities at SEBI guidelines for listed companies. Price at which preferential allotment of shares can be made is through the delisting of equity regulation 2009. So valuation of capital instrument by transfer of person resident outside India to a resident in India in case of unlisted company, it shall not exceed as pricing methodology, internationally accepted valuation standards done at ALP basis by a CA or a merchant banker or a practicing cost accountant. Now valuation in case of swap of capital instruments. सर मैं थोड़ा सा फास्ट चल रहा हूँ क्योंकि प्रेजेंटेशन लंबी है, अगर फिर भी अगर आप कहीं पे मेरे को रोकना चाहो, पूछना चाहो, काइंडली वहीं पे रोक लीजिएगा. Valuation in case of swap of capital instruments. In case of swap of capital instruments subject to the conditions irrespective of amount, valuation involved in swap arrangement has to be made by merchant banker registered with SEBI or investment banker outside India registered with appropriate regulatory authority of that host country. तो स्वैप में क्या होगा सर, दो एंटिटीज हैं, एक इंडियन एंटिटी, एक एंटिटी आउटसाइड इंडिया. इंडियन एंटिटी की वैल्यूएशन मर्चेंट बैंकर इन इंडिया करेगा, आउटसाइड इंडिया की सेम काइंड ऑफ अरेंजमेंट जो उस कंट्री का है उसकी जौन सी रेगुलेटरी बॉडी के अंडर रजिस्टर्ड मर्चेंट बैंकर है, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकर, वो करेगा. So valuation of shares and warrants, in case share and warrants, their pricing and price conversion formula shall be determined upfront. That I have already discussed. Now, valuation of capital instrument for transfer by a person resident outside India to resident in India. What are those conditions? Person resident outside India is not guaranteed any assured exit price at the time of making such investment agreement and shall exit at a price prevailing at the time of exit. सर जो कैपिटल इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जब इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी है उस टाइम पे कोई भी श्योरिटी एग्रीमेंट आप साइन नहीं कर सकते हो. वो प्राइस क्या होगी? वो प्राइस एट द टाइम ऑफ एग्जिट जो प्रिवेलिंग प्राइस होगी उसी पे ही एग्जिट कर सकता है. So where the shares of Indian company are issued to a person resident outside India in compliance with the Companies Act 2013 by way of subscription to memorandum of association, such investment shall be made at face value subject to the entry route and sectorial caps. इसमें एक अब exception दी गई है सर. That is in case of new scheme of Make in India, Stand Up India वाली agency. These pricing guidelines shall not be applicable for investment in capital instruments by a person resident outside India on non-repatriation basis. Direct investment outside India. Direct investment outside India means investment by way of contribution to capital or subscription of memorandum of association of the foreign entity or by way of purchase of existing share of foreign entity by market purchase, by private placement or through stock exchange, but doesn't include portfolio investment. So जो direct investment outside India है वो portfolio investment के through नहीं आप कर सकते. Only other than red, what I have written. Valuation of shares of a foreign company. For the purposes of investment by way of remittance from India, in an existing company outside India, the valuation of shares of a company outside India shall be made where the investment is more than USD 5 million by category 1 merchant banker or investment banker of that host country. In all other cases, जहां 5 million से नीचे है, by the chartered accountant or CPA of that host country. होप सर आप लोग बोर नहीं हो रहे हो मेरे लगातार लेक्चर से.
All well, sir.
Okay, I'm continuing.
हाँ जी.
Yeah. Valuation of shares of foreign company acquired through swap mechanism for the purposes of investment by acquisition of shares of an existing company outside India, where consideration is to be paid fully or partly by issuance of Indian party shares. The value of shares of company outside India shall be in all cases be carried out by category 1 merchant banker, either in India or investment banker registered outside India. Now, valuation of shares of foreign company acquired against ADR and GDRs. An Indian party may acquire shares of foreign company engaged in bona fide business activity. This is very important. The company should be engaged in bona fide business activity. Means you can't subscribe or take shares in shell companies. The companies which are just profit shedding investment companies in any, say, tax haven. So any Indian party who acquires shares in foreign company engaged in bona fide business activity in exchange of ADR GDR issued to the latter in accordance with the scheme of foreign convertible bonds and ordinary shares through depository receipt mechanism. The valuation of shares of foreign company is made as per recommendations of investment banker if the shares are not listed on any stock exchange, or based on current market capitalization of the foreign company arrived at on the basis of monthly average price on any stock exchange abroad for 3 months preceding the month in which acquisition is committed, and over and above the premium, if any, as recommended by investment banker in its due diligence report in other cases. Now, acquisition of share of foreign company through approval route for the purposes of investment by way of remittance from India in an existing company outside India shall be accompanied by a valuation of shares of company outside India made by category 1 merchant banker registered with SEBI or of that host country, and in all other cases by chartered accountant or CPA. जहां 5 मिलियन से कम होगी वहां चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और सीपीए का सर्टिफिकेट भी चल जाएगा. Acquisition of shares of foreign company through approval route. For the purpose of investment by acquisition of shares of an existing company outside India, where consideration is to be paid fully or partly by issuers of Indian parties shares, shall be accompanied by a valuation carried by category 1 merchant banker or investment merchant banker of host country. Transfer by way of sale of shares of a joint venture or wholly owned subsidiary outside India. So Indian party may transfer by way of sale to another Indian party. Indian party, दूसरी Indian party को, who complies with the provisions of Regulation 6, or to a person resident outside India, any share or securities held by him in JV or WS outside India, provided sale doesn't result in write-off of investment made. Means investment की आपने 100 करोड़ रुपए की, by way of transfer you are trying to get consideration of 1 crore of rupees, say, means you are trying to write off 99 crore of investment outside India. That is not permissible. The sale is effected through stock exchange, where the shares of the overseas joint venture or wholly owned subsidiary are listed. If the shares are not listed on stock exchange, the shares are then disinvested by a private arrangement. The share price is not less than the value certified by CA or CPA as the fair value of the shares based on latest audited financial statement of JV or WS. Now, transfer by way of sale of shares involving write-off, where a transfer by way of sale of shares of security by an Indian party listed on any stock exchange in India is for a price less than the amount invested in the shares or the security transferred, where the difference between said value and sale price doesn't exceed percentage approved by Reserve Bank of India from time to time. The Indian party actual export realization of previous year, the Indian party may write off to the extent of difference the capital invested in overseas joint venture and or wholly owned subsidiary, where such differences more than the percentage approved by RBI from time to time, the Indian party's actual export realization of the previous year, the Indian party shall apply to Reserve Bank of India for permission to write off the capital invested, which permission may be granted subject to such condition as Reserve Bank may consider appropriate. Now, sir, I'll go to valuation in banking regulations. जब तक मैं पानी ले रहा हूं, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है इन बिटवीन आई कैन आंसर.
इसको याद
Sir, how
करने का
many acts are we
तरीका
covering today, sir?
हाँ जी सर.
इसको याद करने का तरीका भी थोड़ा समझा दो सर.
It is actually, it is our practice for last 25 years that we are dealing with the cases and we are gathering this kind of information.
You are appearing for IBC exam, not this, but BC, then it is also on the NISIM certification side.
I think so. It is there.
Okay.
Valuation in banking regulations. So investment portfolio in terms of prudential norms for classification, valuation, and operation on investment portfolio by banks issued by RBI. ये RBI ने issue की हुई guidelines. या sale of stress assets in terms of framework governing sale of such assets by bank to other banks, NBFCs, financial institutions, restructuring companies. So investment policy by banks. Banks should frame internal investment policy guidelines and obtain board approvals for the same. Investment policy has to be in line with the prudential norms for classification, valuation, and operation of investment portfolio by banks issued by RBI. Investment policy guidelines should be implemented to ensure that operation in securities are conducted in accordance with sound and acceptable business practices. सर ये वाली गाइडलाइंस अगर आप लोग देखना भी चाहोगे तो एग्जैक्टली ये गाइडलाइंस आपको मिलेंगी अगर आप बैंकिंग ऑडिट की गाइडलाइंस देखोगे तो उसमें जो सेंट्रल स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर्स को गाइडलाइन इशू की जाती हैं ये उसमें है सारा कि एक बैंक कैसे अपना पोर्टफोलियो मेंटेन करेगा या कैसे अपना सिक एसेट या सिक्योर्ड एसेट को वो सेल करेगा या एआरसी को बेचेगा. So basic purpose is to implement to ensure that operations and securities are conducted in accordance with sound and acceptable business practices. Investment portfolio of a bank. RBI fixes statutory liquidity ratio from time to time. So ये अब change हो गई होगी sir. Currently it is 25%. Now you can check it. Banks to require to maintain that much percentage of net demand time liability NDTL, which is to be maintained on daily basis by investment in cash other than CRR, unencumbered prescribed central state government securities, treasury bills, and government guaranteed bonds. These securities are approved securities for SLR purposes under Section 24 of Banking Regulation Act 49 and Indian Trust Act 82. Non-SLR securities are investment in cooperative PSU FI bonds, commercial papers, certificate of deposits, debt mutual funds, and other fixed income securities. Now, how the classification of investment of portfolio of a bank is done. The entire investment portfolio of bank, including SLR securities and non-SLR securities, are to be classified under three categories. Securities acquired by banks with the intention to hold them up to maturity will be classified under held to maturity HTM. Security acquired by bank with the intention to trade by taking advantage of the short-term price interest rate mechanism investment will be classified as held for trading, and securities which do not fall within above two categories will be classified under available for sale category. Bank should decide the category of investment at the time of acquisition itself, and decision should be recorded on the investment proposal itself. Valuation in case of HTM, held to maturity. So need not be marked to market and will be carried at acquisition cost unless it is more than the face value. अगर फेस वैल्यू से ऊपर चल रही है तो इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉस्ट पे कैरी आउट होगी. In case, the premium should be amortized over the period remaining to maturity. So banks to recognize any diminution other than temporary in the value of their investment in subsidiaries oblique joint ventures, which are included under HTM, and provide therefore such diminution should be determined and provided for each investment individually. So जहां पे भी HTM है और वो वाली इन्वेस्टमेंट में अगर परमानेंट काइंड ऑफ रिडक्शन इन वैल्यू आया है तो ही रिकॉग्नाइज करनी है, अदरवाइज नहीं, और वो इंडिविजुअल सिक्योरिटी बेसिस पे करनी है. In case for held for trading, it will be marked to market at monthly or more frequent intervals and provided for. Consequently, book value for individual securities in this category will also not undergo any change after marking it to market. In case of available for sale category, it will be marked to market at quarterly or at more frequent intervals. So domestic securities under this category shall be valued scrip wise, and depreciation oblique appreciation shall be aggregated for each classification. Foreign investment under this category shall be valued scrip wise, and depreciation appreciation shall be aggregated for 5 classifications. वो कौन कौन सी क्लासिफिकेशन है जिसमें एग्रीगेशन की जा सकती है? गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी, शेयर्स, डिबेंचर एंड बॉन्ड्स, सब्सिडरीज एंड जॉइंट वेंचर्स, एंड अब्रॉड and other investments to be specified. Now, valuation of investment, market value. Market value for the purpose of periodical valuation of investment on AF and HFT category would be market price of the scrip as available from the trades quotes on the stock exchanges, SGL account transactions, price list of RBI, prices declared by primary dealer associations of India jointly with fixed income, money market and derivative association of India periodically. Unquoted SLR securities and central government securities. Bank should value unquoted central government securities on the basis of prices on YTM rates put out by the PDA and FMMDA at periodical intervals. Treasury bills should be valued at carrying cost. Unquoted SLR government securities, इनकी मार्किंग कर सकते हो आप वैल्यूएशन एंड यील्ड के +25 बेसिस पॉइंट पे. Unquoted SLR other approved securities, same way, valuation according to yield to maturity, and you can mark up by 25 basis point above the yields of the center state government securities. Unquoted non-SLR securities, debentures and bonds, they should be valued on yield to market basis, such maturity basis. Such debenture bond may be of different companies having different ratings. This will be valued with appropriate mark to over YTM rates for central government security as put up under PDF and DMA periodically. Markup will be graded according to the ratings assigned to the debentures and bonds by the rating agencies subject to following. The rate used for YTM for related debenture or bond should be at least 50 basis point above the rate applicable to Government of India loan or equivalent maturity. And in case not less than the rate applicable to rated debenture or bond of equivalent maturity, markup should be appropriately reflected in the credit risk borne by the bank. Where debenture bonds are quoted, there have to be transaction within 15 days prior to the valuation date. The valuation adopted should not be higher than the rate at which transaction is recorded in the stock exchange. Zero coupon bonds. They should be shown in the books at carrying cost. That is cost of acquisition plus discount accrued at the rate prevailing at the time of acquisition. In the absence of market value, zero coupon bond may be marked to market with reference to the present value of zero coupon bonds. Preference shares should be at on YTM. They shall be issued by the companies with different ratings. These will be valued with appropriate markup over YTM rates for central government security put out by these periodically. Equity shares. Equity shares in the bank portfolio should be marked to market preferably on daily basis, but at least on a weekly basis it should be done. Equity shares for which current quotations are not available, for which shares are not quoted on stock exchanges, should be valued at breakup value without considering revaluation reserves, if any, which is to be ascertained from company's latest balance sheet, which should not be more than 1 year prior to the date of valuation. In case of latest balance sheet not available, the shares should be valued at ₹1 per company. टोटल पोर्टफोलियो की वैल्यू ₹1 अगर 1 साल से पहले की बैलेंस शीट अवेलेबल ही नहीं है. Mutual funds. Investment in quoted mutual funds should be valued at stock exchange quotations. In unquoted mutual fund units, to be valued on the basis of latest repurchase price declared by mutual fund in respect of each particular scheme. In case fund with lock-in period, where repurchase price market quote is not available, unit can be valued at net asset value. If net asset value is not available, then these could be valued at cost till the end of lock-in period. Where repurchase price is not available, unit could be valued at NAV of the respective scheme. Commercial paper should be valued at carrying cost only. Investment in security issued by securitization company or asset reconstruction company. When company invest in SR or reconstruction company through certificate PTCs issued by these in respect of financial assets sold to them, the sale shall be recognized in the books of banks at a lower of redemption value of SR PTC and net book value, that is book value less provisions held of the financial asset. Sale of stressed asset by banks. Framework governing sale of such assets by bank to securitization companies or reconstruction companies or NBFCs are according to the guidelines issued by RBI on September 1, 2016. The Board of Banks shall lay down detailed policies and guidelines on the sale of their stress assets to these asset reconstruction companies. The policy inter alia shall cover the following aspect: financial assets to be sold वो कौन से individually, norms and procedure for sale of such financial asset, valuation procedure to be followed to ensure that reliable value of financial asset reasonably estimated, delegation of powers of various functionaries for taking decision of the sale of financial assets. Policy on valuation क्या होती है in these cases? Banks should have clear policy with regard to the valuation of assets proposed to be sold. In particular, it must be clearly specified as to in which cases internal valuation would be accepted and where the external valuation would be needed. However, in case the exposure is beyond 50 crore of rupees, bank shall obtain 2 external valuation reports. Policy. Discount rate used by banks in valuation exercise shall be spelled out in the policy itself. This may be either cost of equity or average cost of funds or opportunity cost or some other relevant rate, subject to floor of the contracted interest rate and penalty if any. Cost of valuation exercise shall be borne by the bank to ensure that the bank's interests are protected. मतलब ये कंपनी पे लोड नहीं कर देनी उन्होंने, बैंक ने खुद करानी है. Investment by banks in security receipts backed by assets sold by them, where the investment in banks are security receipts bank, stressed assets sold by it under an asset securitization is more than 50% of the SRs backed by its sold assets, the issued under the securitization. SRs will be subject to a floor. This floor should be progressive provision as per extent asset classification and provisioning norms, notionally treating book value of such stress assets corresponding to stress loans, assuming these remained without recovery of principal on the bank books. In effect, provisioning required on SRs will be higher of provisioning rate required in terms of net asset value declared in such sale notes. Provisioning rate as applicable to the underlying loans, assuming that loans notionally continued in the books of bank. With effect from April 2018, above threshold of 50% will stand reduced to 10%. Data aggregation. First, right to refusal. A bank offering stress asset for sale shall offer the first right of refusal to asset reconstruction SCRC, which has already acquired the highest at the same time a significant share, means 25 से 30% share of asset for acquiring the assets for matching the highest bid. अब एक एसेट रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी ने 25 से 30% स्टेक खरीद चुकी है, तो उसको फर्स्ट राइट टू रिफ्यूजल बैंक को देना पड़ेगा बिफोर सेलिंग इट टू सम अदर एसेट रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी. This requires the process of price discovery via auction to be done first. First auction करेंगे, जो price discover होगी वो उसे right to refusal में पहले offer की जाएगी. So thank you very much. I did this marathon session in very time-bound manner. Normally I do this slideshow in 3 to 4 hours.
You understand, sir? There are, I think, more than 80. There are close to 80 slides.
Yes.
So it's, in another slide also, I think there were 25 slides.
Yeah.
So it speaks volumes, sir. The time constraints are there, but
Yeah.
I believe our target is also to just to revise, go through the things and revise the
Yes.
topic so that it is helpful to us.
Yeah, sure.
Right, sir. Right, sir. It was wonderful, sir.
So thank you. Thank you very
Anybody,
much.
any queries, sir? Right?
अब प्रेजेंटेशन मैंने शायद पहले शेयर कर दी हुई है रचित जी को.
हाँ जी सर.
कल
Your
वाली भी कर दी.
presentation is already circulated in the group.
ओके ओके ठीक है सर. और मेरे
बहुत बढ़िया सर.
कोई और सेवा चाहिए होगी मेरे को बता देना. आई विल बी अवेलेबल देयर.
आपसे सर एक क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन लेना होगा तो कभी.
हाँ कभी ले लेंगे इन बिटवीन जब भी कहोगे. थोड़ा सा वैल्यूएशन पे मेरे को टाइम लगता है, अदरवाइज आईबीसी पे एट एनी टाइम, इनकम टैक्स पे एट एनी टाइम.
ठीक है. Thank you for your nice and kind elaboration and
Thank you, sir. Thank
giving
you for
your
giving me this
special
opportunity.
Thank you very much for
Thank
you.
giving us bullet points and giving us a lot of material to prepare ourselves.
I presume it was all collected, it was all good material, and it will help you otherwise, not in valuation, otherwise in professional assignments also.
ठीक है.
So
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
हाँ.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, जी.
So tomorrow we will be having a session at 3 only.
Yeah, at 3 only, sir.
By Bhandari sir will be there.
Okay, right.
So,
And the topic will
so
be?
for today we have another session at 4. तो उसके बारे में कुछ बता दीजिए members if like to
Yeah,
join
sir,
at 4.
that we are having from the Chandigarh branch side, sir. Chandigarh branch along with the Ludhiana and Amritsar branch. Because of this technology, now the branches are working togetherly. So we are organizing a webinar on impact of COVID-19 on share market. So CA Aman Chugh will be the speaker. So I request you all to kindly join. The link has already been shared by the Chandigarh branch. If I will put it in the group also. Request you all to kindly join for that webinar. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chairman sir, for your kind words.
Okay, ji.
Any doubts, anyone? ठीक है जी. Look forward to meeting you at 4 today and
only
then
CAs
3
can
PM
join
tomorrow.
or all members
Thank you,
can
everyone.
also join?
Anybody can join, sir. Anybody can join.
Okay.
I will drop the link, sir. You can watch it on YouTube also, and you can watch it through Zoom also, sir.
Right, sir.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Akhilesh ji. Thank you, Chairman sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
branch.
sir.